when I ask about Kinlaw, I do understand he's a rookie and probably came in more advanced as a run stopper. What gives you the belief, that he will develop as a pass rusher?
He's. I'll start with Kinlaw. Obviously, when you get one-on-one opportunities in this league, you're not going to get very many, especially in a true passing situation. First and second down, a lot of teams give us a lot of play action, hard sets, which is a difficult transition for a rookie to make, especially. So while it may look like he has a one-on-one set or one-on-one opportunity, it could be a play action where he's got to transfer from a run mentality to a pass mentality, which takes time, takes feel, takes an understanding for what's happening. Along those lines, when he does get his one-on-ones, he does have to win. He has had some wins. I believe it's amongst rookies so far this season. I think I read somewhere that he's in the top 5 with regards to pressures from defensive linemen. So, he's progressing along well, and I do believe that once things start to click, and they are, because he's showed up a step late to the party when I think K-Wan's had a sack. He had a sack. He had Carson in his grasp. Carson Wentz. Carson got away from him. He was in a foot race with Aaron Rodgers on Thursday. So he's had his opportunities, and those are things that he's going to learn. It's the same thing that happened with Buck, where we talked about he needs to find that one step. And I feel like that's where Kinlaw is with regards to he's had some opportunities, he's missing a step, and it just comes with time and reps and learning. And I believe that he's going to get all that. He is just hungry for knowledge and just constantly trying to learn from everything. So I believe that he's a guy that won't fail. With regards to Eric is getting a lot of attention with regards to the way teams are blocking, the way teams slide the front to him and all that stuff. And his one-on-ones are even more limited than what Javon's been able to get. So on the flip side, when he does get those one-on-ones, he knows it, and everyone knows it. He's got to win those opportunities, and he's got to take advantage of them. But at the same time, that's on us as coaches to find ways to get him more one-on-one opportunities, and that's an every week thing.
Hey, Robert, you guys have hung in there pretty well as far as defense goes, considering the circumstances. You rank 13th or better in yards, points, turnovers, interceptions, plays, and time of possession per drive. I was wondering, as a coach, what do you think the defense has to do better over the last half of the season for the 49ers to make a playoff run?
It's third down in the red zone. We've got to be a lot better. A lot of our red zone touchdowns that we've allowed have come on third down. Did not like the way Thursday went. We're not a defense that gives up explosive plays, so that's got to get fixed immediately. It's unlike us. But the biggest thing to me so far has been third down in the red zone. We haven't been able to win as frequently as you'd like. Obviously, we're still up there with regards to stats or however you want to see it, but still, it's got to be better. That's going to be the biggest difference is being great in the red zone. And obviously, it always comes back to the ball and creating disruptive plays and being disruptive not only at the line of scrimmage but in the back end and trying to get some takeaways, getting the ball out, force fumbles. We traditionally have been a high-ranked team in forcing fumbles, and the ball's been wiggling. It's been loose. It just hasn't been getting on the ground as frequently as we're used to seeing. And so guys have been focused on it and looking at it, and we're trying to get better. I mean, there's a laundry list of things I can pick for us, but getting the ball and obviously third down in the red zone would be at the top of my list.
Robert, I have a question that doesn't it's not regarding the Saints or necessarily even your defense. It's about what the NFL did yesterday in terms of encouraging diversity hiring. And I wanted to get your impressions as a guy that's been up for head coaching jobs and will be again. What's your impression of what the NFL did to encourage that by saying they would reward teams' third-round draft picks if assistant coaches or assistant GMs leave for higher jobs?
I think the NFL has done a really good job not only speaking about diversity but acting on it. A lot of people in this country tend to speak and they say a lot of things, but I think the NFL has clearly, and the owners, because they're the ones that ultimately make the final decision, have put their money where their mouth is, if so to speak. And like I've said, it's one thing to speak, and it's another thing to act. And I think it's a tremendous gesture by the league to be able to reward teams that are able to develop young men, and it's a promising thing for a lot of the young coaches who are looking for those quality control gigs, because that's really where it all starts, is those opportunities. And it doesn't matter your race, ethnicity. It's just getting that opportunity at such a young age at the quality control level, because that's where all the development happens. And I think that opens up the door for minorities to be able to get those opportunities so they can grow. But it still comes down to the individual taking advantage of that opportunity and finding ways to develop within it, and not relying on the NFL. The NFL has created the opportunity, and now it's on the individual to always act on that opportunity. So it still goes hand in hand.
Robert, regarding the strong safety spot, how do you view that position over these next few weeks with Chikwaski going down? Is there going to be an opportunity for Jonathan Cyprien to potentially earn more playing time?
We'll see. We'll see as it goes. I mean, obviously, Sip will be up. It's and he's always part of the equation, but trying to find roles for everybody on our defense and making sure that we're putting our best 11 on the football field is always going to be at the front of our minds. And whether Sip has a role, Timor, Marcel, we just got to do a really good job trying to find a way to get our best 11 on the field and continue to be as fast as possible. So to answer your question, absolutely. There's always ways to get people on the field. We just got to figure it out.
Robert, how beneficial were those extra few days off following back-to-back road trips with a Thursday night game right after that?
They're always beneficial. The bad part about Thursday night is that it hits too quick, especially for the players. There's nothing better than winning on Thursday night football, so wish we would have been able to do that. But to get any time of break, especially for the players, they just you can always feel their energy when they come back to practice on a Wednesday, Thursday. Defensively, I thought we had two fantastic practices, and just feeling our speed, our energy, our communication, just they were alive, and that's a direct correlation to the break that they got. So it's very, very beneficial, and not to look ahead and past this particular game, obviously, but having the bye week, it'll only be better for them to surge towards the second half of the year.
Hey, Robert, with Tamar Taylor, I think just his recent bio didn't suggest maybe he'd be as good as he has been. When he's gotten his opportunities this season. I think he's played for 4 or 5 teams the last couple of years, released after training camp. Has he surprised you? Particularly, I guess, his performance against the Rams and Patriots.
No, to be perfectly honest, it's he had so many reps to prove himself during training camp because KK had gotten injured, and if it had not been for numbers, he would have made this football team. If we had preseason games, he would have been claimed by somebody else. I believe that. I mean, he was doing a lot of great things during training camp, and so that's why when KK got injured, it was a no-brainer to bring him back, and his play has warranted keeping him on this roster. Obviously, I mean, he's been fantastic. So he is one of those. He's a veteran. He's a pro. He is incredibly smart. He's very deliberate in the way he works and he practices, and that's why he has the success he has. I mean, there is whatever we said we might be nervous about putting him in, whatever situation, he's proven that we shouldn't be, and so he continues to get better, and it's really a testament to him and the way he works and how he tries to get better every day. So
we'll do 2 more for Coach.
Hey, Robert, a 2-part question about interior defensive linemen. Last season, you lost DJ Jones against the Saints. In retrospect, how much did you miss him, especially, do you think, in the Super Bowl? And 2, I saw a graph the other day, where one of those ESPN stats, where it said Kevin Givens was eating up a lot of double teams. Has that been the case from your perspective? Has he commanded more double team attention this year and resulted in a good positive domino effect?
To answer the first question on DJ, I think losing DJ is a very big deal. He's such of an explosive player on the inside of our defensive line. The culmination of losing as many players as we did a year ago in terms of the all those I don't want to call them grunts, but the D-line took a significant hit last year. But DJ, just his ability to get off the ball, penetrate, his body balance and his foot speed and all that, he is a disruptive piece on the inside. So anytime you lose a player like him, it's going to hurt, regardless of the opponent you face. With regards to Kevin, I'm not sure how they come up with those stats. I do know that when he's in there on first and second down, a lot of the things we get are hard play action, double concepts where you get one guy with a one-on-one and everyone else is getting double teamed. Or if he's in there on third down, he might get the slide to him, which may look like a double team. So I don't know if teams are deliberately trying to double Kevin. It's probably, I think it's been the situations he's been put in more than anything. But again, he's another guy that we'd like to see get some one-on-ones in the future. But same thing, he's got to take advantage of them when he gets it.
Robert, this is a great offense you're going up against. Last season, it seemed that Aziz Al-Shaair in particular in coverage gave up a few big plays. That's what I think, guys. You can correct me if I'm wrong. How has he improved since that game a year ago?
Aziz has gotten better with regards to just having a good command of the defense. He's gotten a lot more middle linebacker reps in terms of practice and all that, so he can make every check, he can make every call. He's very, very intelligent, and he really does a really good job for the other 10 players and giving confidence that they can go do their job. He gets close calls out of his mouth. He gets coverages communicated, so he does a great job there. And so he has done a really nice job improving from year one to year two, and I only think he's going to get better. He hasn't even scratched the surface yet with what he's capable of. He's just, again, it's same thing. A lot of things pop up for some of these young kids, and he's one of them that can see it. And even though he may have made a mistake, he doesn't make the same mistake twice, and so he will continue to get better with more reps that he gets.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, Lakin.
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing well. As someone who played in high stakes games last year in both New Orleans and Seattle, what was the more difficult venue? A, and then B, what are your thoughts about playing with only 6,000 fans? How much easier will that be than last season?
Oh man, they're both very difficult places to play. Obviously, with the amount of fans they bring in those stadiums and the noise they make. Man, I'd say they're both really up there. Just a lot of places to go. It's different, not having to do like silent cadence and stuff like that. So it's just a little bit different.
Like, and how do you feel like you and Trent Williams have been gelling the last few games, and what do you expect from you two moving forward for the rest of the season?
Man, I think we're the most dominant left side in the league. Me and Trent, when we get out there, the blocks that we execute, I think we do them at a very high level. And, I expect to continue that the rest of the year.
Hey, Lincoln. So give me a good Nick Mullins story. What's he like on the practice field that you've seen this week that kind of gives you more confidence in what he's got going?
Oh, man. So Nick is a very routine-oriented guy. He does the same thing every day. And one thing that I noticed, because he's like a couple lockers away from mine, is that every day, right before we go out to practice, he has the playbook right there. I'm talking every day, not just, like this past week, not just, like a couple months ago, not just, last year. Ever since I got here, every day he's been in his locker in the playbook, looking at the playbook. And, a guy who's such a detail-oriented guy like that is awesome to see.
Megan, the Saints have done a pretty good job the last few weeks, especially getting pressure on the quarterback. When you look at their front, what's allowed them to do that?
They got very physical guys. The guys up front, they're real good players. We accept the challenge this week, and we're gonna go down there. We're gonna do our best job to shut those guys down.
Trent obviously had to sit out the last game. He wasn't injured, but he had the week off. When you're in the middle of a season like that, do you feel that, and do you get the benefit of having a week off? Will he have a little bit more spring in his step this week because he didn't play last week?
I mean, that's a question for him, honestly. Yeah, you can just ask him. You get him in here.
Can you bring him in after this?
Oh yeah, Chiefs can get him in.
Lakin, Emmanuel Sanders said on his podcast, sort of jokingly, but not really jokingly, that he's looking forward to kicking your guys' ass. Are you looking forward to seeing him again, and how do you take that?
He was a great teammate for us. Awesome player, always been an awesome player, and excited to go against guys you play with, you have that bond with, and it's awesome to see those guys on the field. And battling just. And having them do their job at a high level, it's great. It's great to see. So no, we're excited to see him too.
Thank you, Lakin.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. You don't have to.
Oh well.
Guys, any questions for Ross? There we go.
Hi, Ross. Sorry to keep you waiting there.
No worries.
All right. So just what's the vibe of going back into the Superdome? Obviously, there was so much excitement last year, and it's going to be such a different scene this time around. And I mean, what do you think your role is going to be, and what's the team's attitude right now?
Overall team attitude is really good. We're looking forward to going back there. Overall, we'd say that was probably one of our best offensive performances last year at the Superdome. So we're looking forward to having another one, and we can't wait.
Ross, the offense really struggled the last couple of weeks, constantly shuffling in new players to the lineup. How has the mini bye week helped, and how have you guys played and practiced the past couple of days, the offense?
I mean, I think it just helps in general to have a few more days just to vibe and kind of gel with one another because, like you said, we have had a lot of new pieces. And we've been practicing really well. We haven't missed a beat in practice. Everything's just, kind of going the same as it was when we had all those guys up, So we all have been stepping up, and it's been looking good.
Ross, has George done anything since he's been out to help both you, Charlie, and Jordan Reed in the tight end room?
Yeah, for sure. He's always there, like in the meetings and stuff, in between his rehab and stuff, just kind of giving us words of wisdom and stuff and just giving us little tips that he sees, and always checking in with me after practice. I was just reading a few texts like 2 minutes ago. He was asking how practice went, so I always fill him in. But yeah, he's right there, and we can't wait to have him back.
Ross, I can imagine this season has been really hard, especially compared to last season, which I imagine was extremely fun. At this stage where you guys are at 4-5, you're going to have to go on a little run to make the playoffs. What gives you guys confidence that you can pull this off?
I think just the guys we have in the locker room. We talk about it all the time. Coach Shanahan talks about it. Just we have a lot of character on this team. And we're never gonna not fight. And we're kind of at 4-5 right now. We're kind of right on the hump of either going worse or getting a lot better. And we're definitely looking forward to getting a lot better and taking the team in a positive direction.
One more question. What kind of chemistry do you have with Nick Mullins? I imagine you two have practiced together a lot. And what does he do well?
Me and Nick go way back to like 3 years ago, my rookie year, and his second year when we were on the practice squad together for like the first 7 weeks of my rookie year. So we know each other super well. We have a lot of really good chemistry together. In terms of what he does well, he does a lot of stuff well. He's got a great arm. He knows how to read defenses and read coverages, and just overall knows the playbook like the back of his hand. So if you ever got a question or you got to know like what your job is on a certain play, like he'll tell you right off the bat and just won't miss a beat.
All right, thank you, Ross.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, we're going. Guys, we got Nick here for you.
Hey, Nick.
Hey,
you
how's it
doing?
going? What's up?
Good, good. Hey, all right. So 4 years ago, you had a start in the Superdome, and you did pretty well in it. What kind of positive karma can you take from that final game in college for Southern Miss?
Yeah.
And I got a follow-up question.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That was my last game of college. We finished up on a good note. Anytime you can get a trophy in a bowl game, it's huge, and it's always nice to play in a dome. Air feels good, perfect weather on turf, bouncing around, and so I've been to the Superdome a couple times. Obviously, we played there last year, but even as a fan, I'm in things like that. So yeah, I like the Superdome. I like its atmosphere.
Yeah, that was going to be one of the other questions was, did you go there? Would you take the drive from Alabama down to a couple Saints games? And then do you have family come into the game since you actually can have fans now to watch you?
Yeah, they're actually not going to be able to make it, unfortunately, but it's all right. I'm pretty used to watching it on TV by now. And yeah, I went to a couple Saints games my rookie year. I had some buddies from the Rams who play the Saints. I went down and watched that game, and then I went to a Monday night game, I think my junior year of college, versus the Ravens, and Juice was the fullback, actually. So I saw Juice play against the Saints back on Monday night. So yeah, I've been in the Superdome a couple times.
Nick, just like you said, it's going to be the first time where you have fans in the stadium. Right? Little anticipation to have a little crowd noise there, for real.
Yeah, that's exciting. Gets us fired up. Any more energy you can get into the atmosphere feels like real football again, and so we're pumped for that.
Nick, I forgot my question. Let me come back to you.
Sounds good, man. No worries. Well, now I can't hear
Nick,
you.
this is going to be Grant's question. I'm going to take it from him. When you look at the wide receiver position right now, what's it been like for you to practice, not knowing, you haven't had Kendrick in 2 weeks, Debo's not out there, River was out today, Trent was out yesterday. How do you try to kind of keep some semblance of order for what you're doing and try to get to know and work and develop chemistry with your guys?
Yeah, it's definitely been a fluid situation over the past couple weeks and the things that we've had to deal with. But at the same time, those are guys that I've gotten reps with, whether it be camp, practice, throughout the years. So there's guys that I've worked with, and so I like that. We feel very comfortable with each other, and every practice rep matters, and that's what counts.
Okay, got it. All right, Nick, I've noticed that Kyle Shanahan seems to call much fewer negative yardage throws for you than for Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm talking shovel passes, wide receiver screens, anything that when the ball doesn't travel past the line of scrimmage. So what I'm asking you is, have you told Kyle that you don't feel as comfortable with those negative yardage passes and you don't want him in the game plan? Have you had that discussion with him?
No, not at all. I trust the plays that Coach Shanahan calls, and just do my job to best of my ability. I have not had that discussion. And those plays are dependent on the week. Sometimes they're good, depending on the game plan and which opponent you're going against as well.
Nick, Lakin was just in there talking about how you always have your playbook around you. You've got a full method to your madness. Is there anything that's changed in your process since coming to the Niners?
Since coming to the Niners? Is that what you said? Yeah.
Right.
I think you're always evolving, I guess you could say. You're always trying to pick up something new. You're always trying to learn. You're always trying to just take in more. And so you definitely have a routine, but at the same time, your routine has to adapt. And you kind of know, you're aware of the work that you need to put in throughout the week to feel confident on Sunday. And once you get all that down, feel confident going into Sunday and ready to let it rip. So I think every quarterback has a routine, and preparation is definitely key, and it's something I pride myself on.
Nick, you're facing a defense that had a pretty good game against a quarterback who's pretty good. What do you see from that defense, and what are the challenges that you see when you pop on the film and watch that?
Yeah, they do a great job. They're very sound. They're very detailed, and they're aggressive. They're experienced. They're an experienced group, and they're getting after the quarterback right now. So they're playing at a very high level, and we're aware of the challenge, but we're preparing every day, and we feel just as confident. We love our game plan, love the guys we got on the field, and we're ready to attack.
You guys made some changes on the offensive line. What kind of struck you about Daniel Brunskill moving one spot over and playing center, and how's that chemistry with you two?
Yeah, me and Dan, we're real tight. We have really good chemistry. I think maybe even during camp, he might have worked at center a little bit. We've known that he's been able to play center for a while now, and so he's just going to do whatever job is asked of him, and that's why he's been so successful here. Is he's versatile, can really play any position, and he brings great energy and aggressiveness to the offensive line and to the offense, and so we're working very well together.
Nick, when it comes to Brandon Ayuk, he obviously didn't get a play last week. What's his level at right now in terms of wanting to get on that field and kind of make up for that absence?
Yeah, he's fired up. You never want to miss a game, especially for a reason like that. And so to get back out there, he had a lot of momentum going for him in those couple weeks. Just getting better every week, and you can still see that. And so we're excited to get Brandon back out there and play together.
Last one.
Nick, Ross Dwelly has stepped in for George when he's been out. What is it about Ross that makes him special at what he does?
Yeah, he's just whatever his role is that week, he's going to do it, and he's going to get it done. And whether that's fullback, some last year, and then blocking, receiving, whatever it is, he works as hard as anybody in the locker room. I feel like talk about a guy that's always in his books, very disciplined in his daily process. That's Ross, and that's why he's been successful, just getting better each and every year, and that's what Ross does. And so he's a very solid player for us.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Go ahead for Richie.
Hey, Richie, after your rookie year, you catch 9 passes. Last year, you weren't a big part of the offense. What was it frustrating? Did you get a feeling of why you didn't have the ability to kind of build on what you did your rookie year? How did you feel about your second year and just how it played out for you on the offensive side of the ball?
I wouldn't say anything about frustrating moment or anything like that, but just kind of knowing the opportunity is going to come eventually. It obviously comes with time and patience and how the business works. That's probably the thing I had to kind of continue to keep in my head as we go along this process.
Richie, what's one thing you think that you've brought to the game this year as opposed to the last few years? What's your your most prideful improvement?
Technically nothing has changed. I'm still the same person. Just got a little faster. But still explosive, still the same guy. It's just, like I said, it's all about opportunity at this point with me.
Richie, you said you understand how the business works. How does the business work? Why did it take you this long to get this opportunity?
It's the business. Exactly. You know it. This is the business. You know how I go, man. Picks, everything happens. So you know how I go.
Richie, it seemed like from watching you in camp, you look like kind of a natural fit on the outside, but for a lot of the time, you played as a slot guy and mostly as a returner. I mean, have you always felt comfortable outside? Do you feel like that's a good fit for you?
Preferably, I usually like being in the slot, but it's one of those things where I can work outside, I can work inside. I can work in different positions, so it's definitely preferred, but it doesn't matter. Just put me in the best situation to succeed. So.
Richie, you talk about politics and the business. How helpful is it knowing that your teammates believe in you? Like, to a man, they all speak very positive of you. And even Emmanuel Sanders, who's not even on the 49ers anymore. So how does that help you as a player?
It definitely gave me a lot of confidence. Obviously, when I first got here, Pierre used to tell me all the time, you're a really good player. You just got to keep working hard. So it definitely gave me a lot of confidence. And, obviously Emmanuel last year, he showed us a lot of vet things and how to be a vet. So I got a lot of respect for Emmanuel, and he definitely gave me a lot of confidence last year, and obviously Richard Sherman too.
Can you kind of explain a little bit about that, Richie? What was the biggest impact you think that Emmanuel Sanders made on you last season?
Literally showing us how to do it. That's exactly his actions, how he carried himself around the locker room, game day, how he prepped for games. You can literally just see it. Like, he's a vet. That's why he's getting paid to do what he do. So you just kind of just look at his mindset, or try to figure out his mindset, and try to take as much as you can from him, because he's been doing it for so long.